Hello and welcome back to New Wave Hockey. I'm your host, Link Dansevich, and today we are going to be previewing the 2026 World Juniors Championships. I am so freaking excited to see this year. It's going to be hosted in Minnesota. The playing field is very, very level. I personally will be watching every single game, and you can count a guarantee I will make a little slapdash kind of reaction video at the end of each day to give you guys my thoughts, initial thoughts on every single game that happens during this World Juniors. I'm so excited. I hope you are as well. Let's get into this incredible field. I think there's at least 4 or 5 contenders for gold. Yes, Canada does have a very big advantage, but I think they could be upset by a Finland, a Czechia, Sweden, perhaps, maybe even the United States. They're going for their third straight gold medal on home territory. Now, I will mention the United States has never even appeared in a gold medal game on home territory, but this be the year? Could this also be the year that Canada breaks their 0-2 streak? They have not won gold. They have not even medaled in the last 2 World Juniors. Will that change here? Sweden, they have a really stacked roster. Could they get back to the gold medal game? Who knows what will happen this time? Could we see a team that medals that no one's expecting? Let's get into the rosters. Let's preview every team, starting with the Group A teams, and the team that is my favorite in the Group A. It is the United States. I have to start off, get the bias out of the way initially. This is a very stacked roster. Now, I will say, as of the time that I'm recording this, the United States has not released their cuts yet, so this may be a little bit of a stacked roster, but right now, this is an incredible roster. I'm going to be showing to you guys on the side of the screen here. Cole Iserman, James Hagens jump out at you immediately, but Will Horkoff, Will Zellers, Trevor Connolly, Brody Zemer, Teddy Stiga, the gold medal winner. That is who we're talking about in the forward core. This is still a very solid forward core. Yes, we're missing Ryan Leonard. Yes, they're missing Gabe Perreault, but there's still a lot of really exciting players here. Even Max Plant, Riker Lee, they're playing really well in the NCAA right now. Looking at the defense, I really truly believe this is a very strong defensive structure here. Cole Hudson, Adam Kleber, and Logan Hensler return. Adam Kleber, 6'6", he's a great defensive defenseman. EJ Emery, another really solid defensive defenseman they have with them here. Logan Hensler, his two-way play is fantastic. Cole Hudson, I don't even need to get into it. He was the points leader, the only defenseman to lead the tournament in points ever. He broke the record for most points by an American defenseman in a tournament. He has been excellent. He will be excellent again. And then we get to the goalies. Now, this is probably the United States' biggest weakness here. They don't have Trey Augustine this year, and it will be one of Nick Kempf, Caleb High, or Brady Noling, the draft eligible for the United States here. Nick Kempf kind of stands out as the guy who will probably be the starter, but Caleb Heil could take it. You never know. Maybe the 17-year-old Noling, he's 6'5". He's been there in some really big moments for the United States at the Hlinka Gretzky and also the Canada-United States Prospect Challenge. But overall, I'm going to pick Nick Kempf to be the starting goalie here. The MVPs for the defensive core and the forward core, I'm picking James Hagens to be the forward core MVP. He looks like a guy to really drive offense here. He had a really excellent World Juniors last year. I can expect that to continue. And then Cole Hudson, again, I'd be stupid to not predict that he's going to be the best defenseman out of this group. Overall, I think they're very solid. I'll get into my predictions after I've previewed every roster, but this is a very strong roster for the United States. Now moving on to Sweden, the biggest contender with the United States in that Group A. And man, have they brought a really good team. Ivar Stenberg, Viggo Bjork, the two 2026 standouts, along with Kasper Justavaro Carlson, but he may not get into the lineup as much as the first two. Anton Frondell, Victor Eklund, the two big Swedes, they have looked really good, along with Bjork's brother Wilson Bjork, Eddie Genborg, who is just nails, Milton Gastrin, one of my favorite players to highlight. This is a very good Swedish team. They are very deep. I think they're going to be able to roll 4 lines. They're very scary. On defense, Leo Salin Wallenius, along with his teammate Alphonse Frey, they're here. Viggo Gustafsson, Victor Johansson, William Hawkinson, really good two-way to defensive defenseman. And then Sasha Boumedienne, the Jets' first rounder last year. He is something. He really is. And then the goalie core, like the United States, falls off a little bit. Herman Leave, Love Herenstrom, and Mans Goose. I think that Herman Leave is going to start for them. He's going to be their guy that they roll with, but I could see it go to Herenstrom. My MVPs for the forward and defensive core, I think Anton Frondell is really going to be the driver for Sweden. I think it could be either him or Stenberg. I'm just going to go with Frondell just because I know what he can do. His shot, his ability in the offensive zone, it's so potent, and he's put it on display for the SHL this year. Sasha Boumedienne, Oh man, he is someone I think who could really explode in this tournament. He could be Sweden's Cole Hudson if he allows it to be. But right now, the skating still holds him back. I still think he has incredible instincts. I'm rolling with him to be the best out of this defensive core. Moving on to Slovakia. Slovakia has always been a tough team to play against. Personally, as an American fan, remember a couple years ago when they beat us in the group stage, they were a tough team. They still maintain a lot of elements of that tough team. Tobias Tomik, Tomas Pobazal, Alex Mishiak, Jan Chauvin, Tobias Pitka, they're all back in the forward core, along with the 2026 eligibles, Adam Nemetz and Tomasz Trenko. This is a really solid top six. I think it's a very fast top six. It's a very offensive heavy top six. They're going to fly by some defenses. It's going to be tough. You will have to have a really good goaltender in net to defend against these guys, because this is no joke. Moving on to the defensive core, Luka Radovojevic, he is back for his third World Juniors. It's already there. Adam Gollier lines up next to him. The 2026 eligible is looking really good. I'm a huge fan of Gollier. Every game he's played, he's just looked better and better. And then after that, some other highlights, Matuz Lishi, Adam Belushko, who's back again. And then the goaltending core, I really trust the Slovakian goaltender core. There's Michael Predel, there's Alan Lendak. They're both back. I think either of whom could be the starter, but I think it will be Predel for the Slovaks. And as for the MVPs for the forward and defensive core, I'm going to go with, for the forward core, Trenko. He's just so fast. He's been up in Slovakia. He's looked so good. I think he's going to be ahead of his peers in this World Juniors. And then Adam Gollier, I think he's just too good right now. He's moved firmly into my first round. We're going to wait on those rankings till January, but I promise you. Moving on to Switzerland. Oh boy. We've talked a lot of crap about Switzerland in the past, but now this is a team that I don't think a lot of people are going to be talking crap about during this tournament. They look pretty solid. Jonah Neuenschwander is 16, and it's his second World Juniors. He may be their top line center. And then some other returners, Jamira Reber, Lars Steiner, everyone knows him from the QMJHL. Those are two guys who are also very experienced. Robin Nico Antonin also returns. And overall, the forward core is pretty solid. There's some pretty interesting names here as well. Cyril Henry, Paul Matard, Nolan Katin. I really like Neuenschwander. I think even as a 16-year-old, he's going to be a very important factor for the Swiss this tournament. Moving on to the defensemen, Leon Mugli, Basil Sansanens, Ludwig Janssen, Daniel Ustinkov. That top four is all returning from last year, and they're pretty dangerous. I'm not going to lie. Sansanens is a big guy. Johnson, he plays like a big guy. This will be a very tough defense. It gets even tougher because Guyan Meyer, Nick Lemon, Goose Vanderkaj, these are big defensemen, all right? These are guys who are going to run you down. So this Swiss defense, it's not like the Swiss defense of old. It's not Swiss cheese. It's more like a Swiss Army knife. So very solid defense here. In net, they had their issues last year. Christian Kirch normally should be the starter, but he was so bad in last year's World Juniors that they might go with Elijah Neuenschwander as in net. So I kind of see either or being the solution there. I'm going to go with the Elias Neuenschwander, not Jonah, in net. But in terms of the tournament MVPs here, for forward and defense, I think Lars Steiner is going to be the guy that you have to rely on. He's just too electric. He's been solid in the QMJHL. He's been a borderline first rounder. I can't really decide if I want to put him in my first round or not, but he's been pretty solid. And then Leon Mugli, he's back. He is dynamic. He's a great defenseman. Every team needs one. And Switzerland, they have theirs. I think this is going to be a very challenging Switzerland team. They are going to be one that keeps it very close. If a team beats them, even like a team like Sweden or the United States, it's still going to be max. They'll lose to those teams by like 2. They're going to keep games close. So you never know. You could see an upset from this team for sure. And then Germany. Germany has been in the relegation game, I think, the last 3 years. They have not been overly tremendous, but this year, this could be a team that could shock a lot of people and get out of that relegation game. So Maxim Schaefer's back. Nick Mall is back. David Lewandowski is back. Timo Kosha, Tobias Schwarz, Lenny Booz, Clemens Sager, Simon Seidel, Elias Pohl. They have a lot of returners in their forward core. Elias Schneider, Gustav Griva, they are new guys in here. Max Penkin is not in this tournament. Unfortunately, he got injured right before. It's a shame, but man, there's a lot of guys that you can watch here. Schaefer and Lewandowski are the 2 draftees in this forward core. I really think Lewandowski is going to be the one carrying the banner, not to spoil who I think is going to be the top forward of this group. On defense, again, they are systematically very big. Max Bleicher, along with returners Carlos Handel, Max Hense, Fabio Kosha. These are big guys. Are they very noteworthy? Handel, yes, he, again, was a big draft prospect last year, plays in the QMJHL. They're still big. They're still going to be hard to play against. Again, Germany, though they have been kind of a sieve the last few years, they've been hard to play against in some areas. And I think this is going to be another year where they maybe even give Sweden and the United States a run for their money. And that usually doesn't happen every year, but we'll see what happens this year. And then in net, Linus Vejard, Leinart Nesche, and then Lucas Sturman. I think Vejard is going to be the guy that they start with. This isn't a year where they have a defined goalie, so we'll see. I think he starts. Carlos Handel is going to be their best defenseman, and then on forward core, it's Lewandowski. So we'll see how they do here. Group A, for the predictions, I think I'm going to go a little bit off the board here. Fifth is going to be Germany. I think it's hard to really predict them to make a lot of momentum. I think they will be in the relegation game again, but let's not sugarcoat it for spoilers for Group B. They're going to play Denmark, and they're probably going to win, so we'll see there. Fourth, it was tough for me to choose this, but I was glazing them a lot. But I think Switzerland is going to come out and be fourth. Slovakia is third. They look really, really strong. And then for the top two teams, I actually have the United States coming in second, and then Sweden going first. I tried to hide my bias and really look at it from an analytical standpoint. And I could really see the United States with their goaltending falling behind in this tournament. So we'll see what happens. I have them as the A2 spot, and I have stake in Group A. So that's going to be a tough one. We'll see how that goes in real life. Fingers crossed that I'm wrong. So we'll see how that happens. And let's move on to Group B because Group B is loaded. Oh man. Okay. So let's rip the Band-Aid off. Let's talk about Team Canada. They just solidified their entire roster. They made their cuts. Gavin McKenna, Michael Misa, Porter Martone. That is the top line. I'm scared too. Don't worry. Jet Luchenko and Cole Baudouin are some other returners here. Michael Misa, obviously, he wasn't in the tournament last year. It's one of the reasons why didn't go that far. But then they've got some really, really solid groups here. The line pairings in this forward core: TJ Ginla, Brady Martin, Michael Hage. Brady Martin, Michael Hage, McKenna. That was fantastic. Now imagine that's the second line because they had to add TJ McGinley there, and that's still going to be such a successful line. I am so excited to see all of this. This is going to be so great. Yeah, there's just a lot of great to see in this Canadian team. This forward core, I think this is a forward core that is like one of those that goes down in history. If they can go 7-0, this will be one of the better Canadian forward cores that we've seen ever. Again, it's another one where all of the forwards are first round picks. That's huge. On D, Kayshawn Aitchison, Zane Parekh, Cameron Reed, Harrison Brunick from the Pittsburgh Penguins, Carson Carrolls, Keaton Verhoff, the two 2026 defensemen here. That's really interesting. Ben Danford, another first rounder, and then Ethan McKenzie, a gritty Western Hockey League defenseman who is undrafted, but he is going to be playing. Yes, he is going to be someone who might factor in and play some tough minutes for Canada. I really like the kid upon further inspection. And then the three goalies, two returners, Carter George, Jack Ivan Kovic, and then Joshua Ravensbergen, the second goalie selected in the first round last year. In my opinion, the best that was available. This is a tough decision to say who's going to start between the three, but I'm going to go for Carter George because he got the majority of starts last year, and it wasn't really his fault that Canada really fell. It was more they couldn't score for him, so he was playing well. Ivan Kovic lost to Latvia. So that's all I'll say. And then I think Ravensbergen will probably get a few starts as well. I really like Ravensbergen. I think he may even steal the net, but I'm going to be safe and say Carter George. For the best players for the forward and defense, I think it's going to be Zane Parekh. It's really hard to choose either way. But in the forward core, yes, there's Gavin McKenna. Yes, there is Michael Misa. But I'm going to say that the best forward that emerges here is going to be Porter Martone. This is not Flyers bias. I swear, it's not Flyers bias. But how he's been playing in Michigan State, how he's kind of developed as a scorer, I really think he's going to get the majority of goals because of, again, McKenna, big passer. Misa, yes, he's a goal scorer, but he likes to pass it, very high IQ player. This is going to be the top scoring line in the tournament. And I say that as a USA fan. I say that knowing how potent Sweden's offense can be. I say that knowing that Finland is going to be playing this Canadian team and going to probably shut them down, right? By shut them down, they might only allow 3. This is going to be a very big line, but I think Porter Martone is probably going to score the most out of the forward core and may walk away as the tourney MVP. You never know. It could just as well be Gavin McKenna, or it could just as well be my number 1 ranked prospect, Michael Misa from last year. So we'll see about that. Moving on to Finland. It is a reflection of why they were so successful last year. Emil Hemming, Julius Mettinen, Rupe Vesterainen, Heikki Ruohonen, Jonas Saralainen are all back for the Finns this year, and they are still the same fast, gritty, big team that they were when they made the gold medal game. They're now joined by draft eligible Oliver Suvanto, who is a big center and will be pushing for a top 10 spot in this 2026 draft class. He will play along Atos Koivu, Ata Yoki, and Jasper Kuta, who are some pretty exciting players as well. Kasper Pikkarainen is here as well. This is a very, very good Finnish team. Like, do not be concerned at all. I really think this team is going to be just as good as they were last year. They will give Canada a run for their money in their games. This is a tough team to beat. They're a tough out always. They're always a team that is, no matter how big the gap may seem between them and Sweden at least, it's a game. No matter how big the gap may seem against other teams, it's always a game. Finland sometimes drops one when they have a lot of pressure on them, but now they have a good team here. Let's move on to the defensive core. Juho Pipparainen is next to Aaron Kiviharju here, next to Juho Pipparainen, who is a very highly coveted Finnish defenseman in this draft. Daniel Niemen and Vidi Väisänen, they're both back, and Lasse Bolius, Nicholas Naikiri. They're some guys that are going to be really help rounding out this defensive core. And then in net, Petteri Rimponen, the best goalie in this entire tournament, is back. He's backed up by Kim Saarinen, who is not a bad goalie himself. This is a good team. This is going to be a very defensive team. This is going to be a team that will shut teams down. That's how they play. So we'll see how they do against this group. My best player from the forward core, I'm going to say Julius Miettinen. He was overshadowed last year because, again, he was in a reduced role. This year, you're going to see what his first-line center talents can do. I really think he's going to step up and play really solid in a big way. Juho Pipparainen will be the best defenseman, I think, out of this group. He's been so crucial to Tappara when he's been playing up with them. He's going to be very crucial to the Finnish team. And then for the goalie, I mean, come on. Petteri Rimponen, I think he's going to have a very similar role to how he played last year. I don't think he'll be as good, but he'll be pretty good to go with. Moving on to Czechia. When I say this is the most loaded Czech team I have seen in some time, I mean it. I really do. Václav Nestrasil and Adam Benek are here for their first World Juniors, along with returners Adam Yeko, Peter Sikora, Wojtek Shihar. Adam Novotny is also back. This is a good team. There are a lot of forwards here. A lot of them are playing over in America. They want guys who are playing in North American ice. They want big guys who are wearing players down. That's exactly what you have here in Nestrasil, in Yeko, in Novotny, in Karan. There are some good players, and there's some fast players too. Sikora, everyone remembers last year. He was someone who put the dagger in Canada last year. Adam Benek, everyone knows how offensively potent he can be. Moving on to the defense, Adam Jiricek, he's back. Let's see how well he can do this year. I really think he's going to be very crucial to their success. They will go as he goes, but he's joined probably on the same pairing by Radim Murka, a top 10 pick last year. And then the other offensive defenseman, Thomas Galvis, Jakub Fibigir, maybe Vladimir Dravecki gets in there. The defensive defenseman, Max Sinichka, Vasek Blanar. This is a very, very good defensive core. I would even argue it's better than Finland's. It might be a top 3 defensive core in this entire tournament. Yes, that includes Sweden. They're a very good defensive team. This is going to be a team that's going to be hard to score on, hard to maintain chances in the offensive zone on. Other teams will have to generate chances on the rush against this team because it's going to be very difficult for them to score against the Czechs. And that continues with their goalies. Jakub Malota may be out, but Michael Orsulak and Andrei Stepatak are very, very competent goalies for Czechia. And I think Orsulak will get the start here. I think him or Stepatak, it's a flip between the two of them. Matias Marek also could be someone who factors in for the Czechs, but I'm going to go with Orsulak. That's just my better judgment right now. And then looking at the MVPs for forwards and defense, I think Adam Jiricek, again, like I said, this team goes as he goes. And then for the forwards, Adam Yeko, I was tempted to pick Adam Benek, but I think Adam Yeko, Nestrasil was also in consideration for this. Moving on to Latvia. Oh boy. This team upset the Canadians last year, and it was an amazing fashion. However, Eric Smateko is gone, but in their wake, he still has some pretty exciting players here. Bruno Osmanis, Oliver Murnik, Marcus Siriadis, Martins Klokans, Rudolf Sperskans. These are all guys who have returned for Latvia. Osmanis, Murnik, those are the two guys who are going to be the offensive drivers for Latvia this year. They're both playing really well this time. Look at the defense. Alberts Smits, a top 10 defenseman in this 2026 draft class, headlines this Latvian team, along with Darls Uljanskis, who's back for his third World Juniors. He is big, he is rough, he is tough. Chris Retenes, Oscars Bridas, and Christianis Sarts are also backs. Martins Vitols is a very tough defenseman himself. There is some good defensemen on this roster. I really do like the Latvians on the back end. Again, very hard to play. However, there's no Lienards, Feldbergs, and that might be the big Achilles heel for the Latvians. Mikas Bekvanags has not been great, and Nils Marins has not been good enough to really overtake him as the clear-cut Latvian goalie. So we'll see. I'm still leaning with Bekvanags. I know he's a goalie for the Montreal Canadiens system, but he has not looked good anywhere that he's played. I'm a bit worried about him. He may be their Achilles heel here. We will see, but on defense, I think Smits will really carry this defense. He'll be a contributor offensively, and then on the forward core, I think Bruno Osmanis, that age, I think he's going to carry it over this year for the Latvians. There may be a big upset in this group. Mark my words. And then moving on to Denmark. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Denmark is probably going to get rolled in this tournament. This isn't like a Norway situation where they're an interesting team, they have some draft eligibles, or a Kazakhstan situation where they're like a gritty team. I don't think this Denmark team is going to get it done. Mads Kleivo is a drafty, and he looks pretty solid in the Frölunda system. Could he be a player? Probably, but he was a fourth rounder. Anton Lind is going to be the top line center. Albert Grossman is the 6'4" forward playing in the Danish league. Pretty solid player. Moving on to the defense, Jesper Olsen, Jeppe Kramer, Hugo Damgaard. There's a couple guys here, but it'll be tough for them to really get a lot of momentum. And then in the net, they have Anton Larsson, I think will probably start for them as well. So I think I have Jeppe Kramer being their best defenseman, and Mads Kleivo obviously being their best forward. I really think it's not really important to go into depth with this Danish team. No offense. I love Denmark. You guys know, lived in Denmark. It's an amazing country. Sorry to my Danish hockey fans who may be watching. Sorry to offend you. But Group B, Canada, I think, will take this one. They'll be the 1A here. Finland and Czechia, it's a tough battle for second, but I think Finland will edge them out. Czechia will go 3. I think the goaltender really wins at that situation. Latvia, I have 4. I think they're going to be challenged with Bekvanags in net, so we'll see how they do. And Denmark, I'm sorry, will go 5. Now let's officially go into the predictions. The medal rounds. Who do I think is going to finish where? I went through the format after how they finished for their standings, who is going to be placing where. It's going to be Germany and Denmark in the relegation game. I think Germany will win their 4th straight relegation game. And then going from 8th to 5th, I think it's going to be Latvia finishing 8th. That goaltending core really kind of scares me. I don't think they're going to have the upset that they had last year, but again, they stay up. They're a solid team. Switzerland, with my better judgment, I think they're going to finish 7th. Again, goaltending is going to hamper them a little bit. They're going to play tight, but are they going to get the scoring that they need? They're going to need a big jump from Steiner or Neuenschwander, and I don't think either is going to be at that level this year. Maybe next year this could be a very interesting Swiss team. Slovakia finishes 6th. They're the top of the rest. They're closest to the top 5. So we'll see. They could probably get a win on someone's team. 5th, I'm going to say Czechia. I know this is tough. I said they were going to be a really good team, and they are. This is the strongest Czech team, but I really like this Finland team. I really like this Canada team. Group B is going to be a gauntlet, and unfortunately, 4th. I agonized over this decision, but the 4th place team is going to be Finland. Yeah, we'll see how this turns out. It's a weaker team from last year. There's still going to be a suffocating team, but there isn't that oomph that they had last year. I mean, Emil Hemming will be their guy, kind of, along with Julius Miettinen, who I think is going to be the best forward they have available. But there's no Konsta Helenius. I think he's the guy who will put them over the top if he was here, but he's not. Bronze medal. It's another one I agonize over, but the United States, I think they'll medal. They'll at least medal, but I don't see them getting to the gold medal game because Sweden's tough, but so is Canada. The gold medal game will be between Sweden and Canada, and I think Canada's going to get it done once again. Sweden, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. I think this is going to be another tournament where it's a little predictable, but there's going to be a lot of extremely good group games. I think Canada will win this outright. It's tough to really make that prediction. Overall, the tournament MVP, if Canada wins it, it will probably be one of Misa, McKenna, or Martone. I really think that's how they're going to go this year. I'm throwing out Martone just because I think he's going to score a lot of goals, shock a lot of people. The defensive MVP, it's hard for me to say anyone but Cole Hudson, but could be Zane Parekh really easily as well. And then the goaltending MVP, I could see anyone from Canada really stepping up and taking it. If they're going to get gold, I think it's going to be George. So we'll see how that goes, but it will be a Canada tournament once again. I'm predicting. Now, every year I predict Canada to do really well, and they haven't done that the last 2 years, so we will see how this goes. But as for that, that's all I have for you guys for the World Juniors predictions. I know I really struggled with this one. This was a very tough video to make. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's already here. I will be there in Minnesota covering the games for McKean's and for New Wave Hockey as well. I will try to promise you guys that I will cover the end of every single day and giving you the analysis of every single match that I watch while I'm there. I am so excited to get boots on the ground and finally get to connect with so many people, talk to a lot of people who work in NHL organizations for other media companies, and just kind of bolden my brand. So it's gonna be super excited to be there and just kind of just to watch the World Juniors. This is a big spectacle, guys. It's like our Super Bowl pretty much for hockey fans. So really excited to get out there. But as for everything else, thank you guys for watching. Really hope you subscribe and like and just enjoy this video. And I will be back with my coverage of the World Juniors. And after that, my new rankings for the post World Juniors 2026 NHL draft rankings for this year. Hope you guys will be looking forward to all that. So for now, I'm Link for New Wave Hockey, signing off.